What's good, YouTube? And welcome to a channel update that does get to the cards. The clean up your room crowd in the comment section is finally gonna win, because I am going to go through the carcass of my vending career. A lot of the deals from things that I find will be posted in the Discord in the deals room for those who were wondering, oh, I missed those $60 Trident Dragons. How do I get stuff like that? I'd rather give deals back to the community and also not tamper with the market as a whole with the pull that I do have whenever I talk about something. Like, actually, in this market watch, we'll talk about Junk Warrior Quarter Century Secret Rare, and I point out that seems cheap and spike up. I don't want to have any played interest in actually manipulating the market versus the inventory I will be going through, and it's a balance I have held throughout the entire time with the channel. But the bulk market, it's down very bad, but I feel like this is actually holding me up from doing a lot of creative stuff in the room. The second thing is, with that, I plan to get back to streaming while also spending more time with family and getting healthier. I have a pulled abdominal muscle right now and it hurts a lot. So it's actually weird to see this get a bit bigger while I'm actively losing weight, but hopefully within a month I can get back to that. Around mid-June, I plan to start streaming again, and it will be largely going through the bulk mines every single Thursday, Friday, and I'll switch between Saturday and Sunday depending on what's going with Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Go luckily puts their whole month schedule up towards the start of the month, so we'll know what Saturdays and Sundays I'll be streaming. So I know a lot of the vendors actually enjoy me going through the bulk, and a lot of viewers will be able to get deals that I'll be posting that night if you've been watching throughout the stream nights, and I'll try to time it different so it's like you can't just not be watching. It'll give the people who are watching the priority on the deals. That being said, let's also not get to the cards right away, starting with this Junk Warrior figure. It sold out on Ami in just about a day at $64. This is a pretty good sign for the popularity of Yu-Gi-Oh! And brings me back around to the Junk Warrior I talked about, which spiked $5 when I did. I brought it up on Twitter and I was like, this seems undervalued, and then it went straight up 5. So some things never change with thanks, market man. And the figure itself goes for double on Big Bad Toy Store. That's not the most unusual thing because you also have to calculate international shipping into here, but it will arrive slower most likely than if you ordered it off Ami. Usually they do like freight shipping to save money, but yeah, at the $64 mark, this sold out in a single day. Also, the access code talker figures up on here, and it's limit 2 per household instead of the usual 3 for a Yu-Gi-Oh figure, so I found that interesting too. The access code talker, they're like, yo, you can buy less of these after Junk Warrior sold out in a single day. Now, I do want to also talk about a deal happening, not sponsored at all. Macy's has Yu-Gi-Oh cards in certain sections, like the Toys R Us section they might have over in some of their places. I know mine has Pokemon cards, but not typically Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They're on deep clearance with extra slashes at the counter, and the structure decks are like, I think, under $4 a piece as shown, and these are examples from Arizona as well as Dallas. So if you check your Macy's, you might have packs for around $1 and structure decks around $4. Also, Rarity Collection 2 has its announced date for reveals through creators coming Monday, May 13th at 8 a.m. it looks like Pacific, so do be aware, 10 o'clock Central, I believe, 11 o'clock Eastern, that we should be seeing reveals, huge impacts on the markets this Monday, and we'll cover that on Market Watch. Now get to the real cards, John. All right, we did cover Junk Warrior. That's my fault, though. When it comes to this set, Legacy of Destruction, there's been a lot of shakeups, and now we're through the actual week 2 here, and there has been some settling. We do see Diableeze trying to fight up towards the top of the set for Quarter Century Secret Rares with Nightmare Princess, as Nightmare Throne has actually chilled right back out to about where it was, around the $145 to $150 throughout the entire front page. So that's been interesting to see that it went up and came right back to where it was. Lightsworn Dragonling is kind of chilling, but still lower on quantities. Varudus is trying to cling to triple digits, and then we go down through the set and we have some interesting things happening here and there, like the Shining Sarcophagus is 6969, not so nice buyout mode, but we did say that, hey, the Yugi stuff might be underestimated versus the collectability it has and how people are going in. Casual doesn't mean broke. And we do see other quarter century secret rares now down to 10 listings for Silent Magician Zero here, starting to go down listings up in price. Same for the Ragnarika stuff. I know it's also down in quantities, and I did point that out, but not necessarily up in price yet. When we are talking about the rest of the set, though, we only have Nightmare Apprentice atop. If you're not pulling a quarter century secret out of your box with multiple good supers, ultras, you're looking at a bit of a bum box, yet this set is holding at a relatively good rate, usually a successful one, and I do attribute that to the collectability aspect inside, that people are going for the little Yugi cards along with the meta impact. It doesn't feel as bad as Duelist Nexus, as a lot of people try to compare those two sets. I think it's more the rarity spread isn't fully initiating greed, yet still is initiating openings of the set, which is pretty darn cool to see actually when it comes down to it. But for value inside, it's kind of mixed. It's not the greatest. You're looking for big hits, quarter century secret rares, along with combos of good cards to have a winning box. So I still don't love the model of what they went for the best, but I do think it's a huge win for the player base, and they're speaking with their wallets, and the box is staying up, which I still think is pretty darn cool. When it comes to the Ultras, Supers leading the set, Nightmare Throne, Lightsworn Dragonling, and Tenpai Dragon, and Nightmare Throne, to be fair, is trying to fight Apprentice for the top spot. Diableeze is back down pretty bad on the secret rare, while Shining Sarcophagus is chilling around 12, and a lot of these other secrets around the Yugi stuff have been coming up in price slowly. So again, a set to watch, and the tokens are exclusive to that retail exclusive box where it has, I think, 4 or 5 packs in it. When it comes to Sky Strikers, 4 more years. 4 more years. They always seem to be getting more support. 2 cards that are up: Sky Striker Ace's Ultimate Rare for Kagari, as well as Sky Striker Ace Azalea. I want to remind you, Azalea is a Link 2 that is semi-generic light and dark monsters, and then it has really double good generic effects that don't totally rely on anything Sky Striker based. You can only special summon this card once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you target a card on the field, destroy it. If you have 3 or less spells in the graveyard, you send this card, which most decks can get 3 cards into the graveyard that are spells, once per turn at the start of the damage step. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish the spell from your graveyard and destroy that opponent's monster. Again, Link 2, decent arrows, generic Sky Striker by name. So this has been going up over time and is now around an $18 to quickly $20-ish card. Yubel's quarter century secret rare, the Loving Defender Forever, has gone up in price pretty steadily, so be aware people are continuing to go in on this around the $188. Clear World got new support, and it's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily meta breaking, but I'll wait to see it in action. But this card only has 2 printings and feels like it's overloved, overreacted to a bit, in my opinion, considering how things go. But hey, you never know. People do have that nostalgia factor, maybe past what I can speak for, and it is a interesting floodgatey card. But be aware the Ultra is up towards 20 from $1.50, and the secret rare 38.7 listings. Then you also have Clear Vice Dragon with only 2 printing, same sets, Legendary Collection 2 and Stardust Overdrive, and it is also spiking ridiculously. Triple Tactics Talent is, however, not really overhyped. All the higher rarity versions of this are continuing to trend and go up and down on quantities, and if you just want to access this card, it's around 6. Remember, Triple Tactic Thrust is going up significantly right now. This is one of the main targets for it. The quarter century secret rare is spiking, and a lot of these versions for it that are, again, higher rarity, if you just click, you can see a pretty consistent trend upward on the cards in our WCQ season. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon's up on every version. Somebody in the Discord was like, my friend said he bought this out yesterday. I clicked like all the graphs, and it's not like a yesterday buyout. Like, look, 2 copies sold, and it's been selling consistently at these prices. So buddy's trying to take credit for the buyout mode. not really there. This is apparently for Melodious, though, and being able to go into Xyz and then being able to bring this out, and every single version of this is going up, so it seems like a more actual reason for this to get bought out than speculation, which is usually what happens for this card, and it has been steadily rising rather than like skyrocketing suddenly or something. Like you can see, again, sales consistently throughout here rather than the information, yeah, my buddy bought it out. Now, the Ultimate Rare has Mega Spike. This is always a first edition that I have liked and is selling for around $50 at this point for a first ed, and yeah, it's a really cool card. 50, I don't know that is worth it, but a lot of people have fond memories with this too. Hey, fun fact, if you started playing when this came out, you're almost in Yugi Boomer range, aren't you? Ancient Chant is a card, an example of a card. If I was a vendor, I would be stockpiling, but you're educated guessing and gambling when you do something like that. Like the Yu-Gi-Oh market, if you're putting money into it long term, there's usually better places you could put that money. Why I would do this is I'm looking forward to the next Winged Dragon of Raw support, because that's probably inevitable. But I'm also gambling then, if I were to do that, against a 30th anniversary version of this card with 5 different rarities and a rarity collection. Like, that is a huge possibility. Or a Megaton that ends up importing it, since Megatons can import stuff, and also have quarter century secret rares, 30th rares, what have you. So I just think the collector rare is ridiculously low versus what the market price, you know, $40, $50 used to be on the ultra rare, and now it only has one more ultra printing. Again, casual doesn't mean broke. People get really excited to be able to play something, and this card is pretty good. Another card I'd be looking at is Elemental Hero Stratos Secret Rare, and it's back down under $5 when it had spiked to 10. Again, I called it going up from 5. I was like, yeah, it deserves to be 10. It's pretty good. Has its place in Yu-Gi-Oh history. Heck, you could even play in current with heroes. People still try to, but it's come back down. Why I give these examples are, I'm not always right. I can have done this all the time that I have. I've been, buying, selling, trading cards, I would say competitively since 2004, and even with all my insight, I'm not going to see exactly where it would go. Like, it bought out to 10, I would see it falling to 8, not all the way back under the original buyout mode. I wouldn't have seen that happening with something like Secret Stratos. So I can be stuck with piles of cards that just go dead in price, which if you vended for a while, you probably have a stack of that yourself. Let me know what it is in the comments section. But I was looking at Toon Kingdom, and why I bring up cards that I think are cool. Toon Kingdom Ultimate Rare is one that I would think, and it's done nothing but fall from $35 till recently. It's starting to go up just a little, but yeah, you can even see a year ago, 35, nothing but do the opposite of stunk. Yet the rare sold out a month ago, hasn't repopulated, and actually has some sales at 25 for light plays. Then we look around at this card, right? The Ultra Rare Pharaoh Rare is exclusive to EU and other regions. Our region would be the Secret Pharaoh Rare, which is starting to go a little in quantity after the rares went, and you can see, still available, under 25, under market price, before it does go towards 30 and quickly 50. This is probably one of the most speculated on cards by vendors, knowing the history of seeing when it had a rare, the rare being one of the most expensive rares of all time, the secret rare being $70 to $90 for a card that never had a meta impact, but did have that collectability and fan favorite aspect. When the Ultimate Rare came out, a lot of people were like, yeah, this is a no-brainer, gonna be triple digits, etc. Yet it has defied all expectations, done nothing but go down over time, and we're about to see people buy into this card once again, finally, after it hasn't had a reprint for a while. The ultra rares out of Dragons of Legend are starting to push up 18, which is about the same as the secret, which is about the same as the ulti, which is about the same as the secret Pharaoh rare. Let that all sink in. You can call things as big brain as you want. This, if I still vended, would be a card I would have a huge pile of, and it looks like it's about to do it, but again, like, it took all this time. How many people do you think have gigantic piles of this, waiting and praying for that to happen? You can be as big brain as you want. I can make calls, but this is why when people say, John, what cards do you think you would be going for right now? And since I don't vend, I can give that advice freely. Why I don't constantly go, these are cards I would be buying right now, and pushing them and that kind of stuff. It's because I can be dead wrong at the end of the day. It's why I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have that kind of marketing tool, etc. But also, Yu-Gi-Oh's highly speculatory. No matter how long you've done it, you can be wrong. And again, I like this card a lot. I would suggest it, and you can be sitting for years and years and it do nothing, and then it get a reprint by the time it could do anything that goes above the collector rare, as we've seen collector rares just get dunked on time and time again lately, yet I still like it for what it is. So, you know, Secret Stratos would be a modern one I would have probably 80 of just watching go down at this point. My point with all this is, as much as you can watch these segments, as much as you can talk about the value, it's educated guessing. You can be dead wrong no matter the history in the game, and Konami can throw a curveball right around the corner. So do consider that every time you're buying into cards and doing what you're doing. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch, though. I hope you enjoy these in-depth discussions. Hopefully, me finally getting to this and changing things behind me will make it a bit more enjoyable, besides the occasional, like, pillow that's, you know, appearing around here, like Enemy Controller and Summon Skull. But for the driving squad, I guess it'll only change when you glance down during a stop. I still see y'all, and I try to shout out prices specifically for you here and there. Thanks for watching, everybody.